her hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our special edition, special Thanksgiving Eve edition. I'm not sure if that's right. Thanksgiving night edition. I don't know. Whatever edition it is, I just thinking, how can I be more thankful than for having all of you guys pay attention to the portal and all that you've done in promoting it and making it incredible and special. And I was sitting here and I'm thinking, I just want to hang out with you guys. You guys are really as much my family as the people that I was born with. And it really means that much to me. So I couldn't think of spending a holiday without you. Christmas, I don't know. We'll see. But Thanksgiving, it had to be with you all. So I hope you're all snugly and tucked in because it's time for bed. All right, guys, we're going to get rolling here, but I'm not sure how many of you will come in or not. I know it's a holiday, so I'm not expecting the doors to, get split open with a crowd rushing in, but I just wanted to be here and spend some time with you guys because, again, it's a cool holiday, and if anything, the holiday is about being close with family, and you guys are my family, so you're stuck with me, and I do take leftovers, so I can give you my address if you've got some. And Haxor, I definitely want one of those cocktails. So Haxor, of course, is the Paranormal Portal mixologist, and he's always been in here and been incredibly supportive. So and Don's here, and Pixie, and Lady Death, and not sure who else. Let me look through the list, but I'm just thrilled to see you guys. I think that's everybody that's spoken in chat so far. But if you're here and I haven't mentioned you, please say hello. I'll try to keep looking. Maybe at the end of the Bedtime Stories from Beyond, I'll look and see who ended up coming in. Oh, Aussie Tiger, Rock Fam, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Another Aussie fan. Excellent. I tell you, Aussies are representing up in here. We got Ken and we got a couple others, so this is really cool. And Don, of course, is here. Of course, yeah. Don, my co-host and good friend, is also in the chat room. So thank you guys for everything you've done. First and foremost, thank you from on behalf of both Don and myself for all that you guys have done to promote and let people know about the show. And I say thanks a lot, and I say it often, but I mean it often. I mean it every time I think about how it's growing and how it's just becoming this whole new thing than what it used to be. It's just really exciting, but I owe it all to you guys. I truly do. You guys have made this happen. Don and I have spent $0 on promoting this. It's just all been word of mouth, and people maybe just stumbling into it, but other people maybe being referred. And you guys have definitely done an amazing job representing the portal. So thank you guys. It's a day of giving thanks. So I'm giving it to where it belongs, to you guys. So tonight I'm just going to throw a few ghost stories and just as a thank you, and hope you guys enjoy them. I don't know, I haven't read them myself, so we're going to be reading them together. And usually that's kind of how it goes here on the portal. I don't like reading too many of them ahead of time because I don't know, I like the discussion that they create and the questions that come to my mind as I read them. And I like the idea that the portal's a dialogue, it's a conversation. So the first one is really short and sweet. And I was in my bedroom studying when I actually accidentally fell asleep. I woke 2.5 hours later to see my great-grandmother standing in front of me. The problem was she died 2 weeks earlier. I asked her what she was doing there, and she told me that she had to tell me something. But she couldn't tell me what it was, and I had to guess. The first thing that came to my mind was, is someone going to die? So I asked, is someone going to die? And she said, yes. I said, is it me? And she said, no, you have a while. I asked, is it my mom? And she said, no. And then I asked her if it was my grandfather, and she said, yes. I asked how long, and all she would say is, New Year. Now, I think she was hanging out in my house, turning on lights, slamming the bathroom door, and I'm hoping she will talk to me soon. So I don't know if he ended up going or not. I don't know. This seems to have been written in 2007, January 10th of 2007. So it was after the New Year. So I don't know if the grandfather died the next year or not. But very cool. If it's real, that's an excellent story. Premonitions. I think the deceased do know what's going on, and they know when people's time is going to be up. They can see the bigger picture, whereas we're still dealing in the physical with filters and all of that. So I do believe they know when someone's time is coming, and they know to be there to help them home. So I don't know about why the hell a grandma would come in the house and start slamming doors, though. That's a little disturbing. But you never know. You never know. And again, this person could be, sensitive, and grandma wasn't the only one hanging around. Who knows? She could be a beacon of herself, of her own self. But cool story, though. The next one is slumber party. I don't know. We'll see what this one's all about. So my friend was having a slumber party for her birthday, and she invited me. It was me, Anna, Jody, and Elisa, and we were mucking around, telling scary ghost stories and other scary stories, making some up, and some were allegedly real ones that we experienced. But just at the time when Jody told hers, there was a big bang at the door. We were all terrified because Elisa's mom and dad had gone out that night, so we were home alone. We decided to lock all the doors and windows, and we met back in the room we slept in, and Jody didn't come back. And when we got back, the window in that room was open. We assumed Jody went out there to try to scare us, but thinking back, she was the most scared of all of us. So we were terrified. We checked out the window, and nobody was outside of the window, so we locked it, and we checked the whole house downstairs, and then we checked upstairs, and we heard scratching or screeching. And we went in the room we thought it was coming from, and there was Jody trying to shut the window that screeched when it was grinding along the bottom. Then, as we all tried to shut it, it just shut like that. No screeching. It was as if someone or something was holding it shut. Then the bang at the door again 5 times, and we decided to check it out. And as we went down those stairs, They all voted for me to open it, and so I did. Nothing. And that's when I shut it. Something held it as I shut it, though, and something said, "Let me free." We didn't understand it. What does this mean? We decided to let it go. Besides, we were just kids, and what could kids do? So, but no one would believe us when we told them about it, and from that night on, we dreamt about it, but when we tried to talk about it, we just couldn't. It was strange. Now, that is a legendary story, and I don't know. It's kind of one of those hand-me-down tales of old wisdoms, but it's basically goes, if you ever have knocking in the middle of the night, don't open the door. So if you don't have a peephole or, look through a side window or something. But the idea is that if you open a knocking door at night and you see nothing there, you might have just let something in. So, I don't know, just some words of advice. And, you never know. Could be letting something in. Who knows? Stranger things have happened. The next one is called, well, I don't know. It doesn't really have a title, so I'll just read it, though. But it sounds like it's about a really scary ghost, so let's get scared. One night I was watching TV in my room when I felt the feeling like something was watching me. In the corner of my eye, I thought I could see a shadow move. And when I looked over to the corner of my room, I saw that it was where my bookcase was, and thought it was just had to have been my imagination. I turned the TV off and reached for the light switch so I could go to bed. There are 2 mirrors in my room on opposing walls, and one of them is very large. And when I reached for the switch, I saw a shadow distinctly move in the larger of the mirrors. When I quickly jerked my head to where that movement was, I noticed the bookcase had a weird sort of dark, hazy shadow to the side of it. It wasn't very noticeable, and if I hadn't seen something move over there, I probably wouldn't have noticed it at all. I kept focusing when it moved. At the same time, I got the worst headache and had to grab my head. It hurt so much. I closed my eyes, and when I opened them, and looked at the bookcase, the ghost wasn't there. I looked around the room until I finally saw it. It had moved closer to me and was becoming more noticeable. It had like a hazy darkness that had gotten darker, and I could start to see the shape of what looked like a slightly bulky man. I kept my eyes on it, and it stayed put. My head was thumping, but I didn't want to take my eyes off of it. Then it shrank suddenly to the floor. I didn't want to look down in case something suddenly happened, so I stayed put. I waited for about 1.5 hours until I thought it was gone, and then went to turn off the light. I felt something grab my arm, though, and pull at it. In my head, I suddenly thought the words, "back, moment," for no reason. I looked at the shadow and closed my eyes, thinking it would go away. It did, but when I looked around the room again, I saw it back over by the bookcase. This time, I told it to go away and leave me alone. And it quickly moved across the room near the door. There was a bottle of perfume on the mini table near the door, and the shadow knocked it off when it moved. I turned off the light and got under the covers, and it felt like the covers were squeezing me. Like when you suck the air out of a plastic bag or with something in it. And I tried to move, but it felt like I was stuck, and I heard something like an animal sounded like it was dying. My bed started shaking, and I fought to get free of my blanket, and I managed to stick my head out and saw the shadow figure standing across the room again, just watching me. I could see its eyes because they were really more black than the rest of it. The bed was still shaking and the covers were still tight, so I closed my eyes and screamed. Then my bed stopped shaking. The blankets became loose. I got out of bed and ran out. In my PJs, I got in my car and stayed at a friend's house after telling her what had happened. I asked one of my more religious friends to try to find someone to exorcise my flat, but I haven't had any word back yet. This happened about a month ago, and I've been at my house during the day, but at my friend's house in the nighttime. I can't bear to sleep in my room anymore after that happened. And Don, this might be the first paranormal story where the covers were not very good protection. But then again, they weren't portal sheets, so that could be the difference. But that's just a few stories. I don't know. I think they're pretty good. Since Thanksgiving's basically over now, I'm back to telling creepy stories. I hope that's okay, you guys, because nothing spells fun like a little creepy story. All right, let me read this other one. This one's nice and short. Oh, okay. We've lived in my house for about 15 years, and we had things happen there. I was taking a bath with the bathroom door open, and I looked at the hallway, and I saw a dark shadow. At night, my TV changes channels and then turns on by itself. I've had things move in the house, and one day my friend saw what looked like a little boy in my house. She came over to see who it was, and she saw a picture hanging on my wall, and she said it was him. And we asked, what about him? She says, he walked in our doorway. And we told her that he died a long time ago. I was sitting downstairs and had my hairbrush on the coffee table, and it was knocked down to the floor. I decided to leave it on the floor, and I would not stay downstairs by myself because I feel there's someone there, just someone watching me. The other day I was cleaning my room, and in the corner of my eye I saw the shadow of what looked like a lady. And then I looked back again, and it was gone. I had so many people say that they would not stay in my house. And I have 3 birds, and at night they go crazy like they're seeing things. And I keep hearing people talking and yelling my name. And one day I was sitting downstairs and saw like a kind of smoke. I went to the stairs and it was gone, but before my brother moved out, he says he was laying on the bed and he saw an old-fashioned boy, old-fashioned clothed boy, shadow that was looking at him. Well, it sounds like you need to sage that place. I think that house needs some saging is my advice. It's really common though, and you hear this theme over and over and over and over, is that out of the corner of my eye I saw a shadow in the corner of my eye, out of my peripheral vision I saw something move. And that's a theme that replays itself over and over and over and over in the paranormal. Since doing the show, I can't tell you how many times I've noticed that in stories, and that seems to be, the way that people become aware of presences. And perhaps, I know it's cones and rods. Apparently, according to when we had Sean on, he was talking about that, and there's more light sensitivity out of our peripheral vision because it's cone-shaped receptors rather than rod-shaped, which are right in front of us. And so they probably gather more movement or more, they gather more subtle light changes easier than our main eyes do. I don't know if that's true, or our main focus anyway, but I believe him. Sean's a very intelligent guy, so I guess I believe it when he says something like that, and I'm sure he's right. But it just comes up over and over and over that people notice first things moving out of the corner of their eyes. So, very strange. I don't know. Makes you wonder, though, doesn't it? I don't know. But let's see. I don't know. I'm not sure how long I've been at it here. Oh, only 19 minutes. We got time for more. You guys aren't that in a hurry to go to sleep yet, are you? Oh, this one sounds interesting. That one sounds really, really long, so we're going to hold on that one until another time. Let's see. Oh, let's see, tomorrow's Friday. This one has to do with a Friday, so let's just see. All right, and it's not so overly long, so I'll read this one, and that'll about do it for tonight. But, okay, so On one stormy Friday night at about 8:30 p.m., when I was about 16, my mom and dad had to work overtime, and my sister was sleeping at a friend's house, and my brother was at a cousin's house. This sounds really familiar. I don't know. I'm going to skip to a different one. I'm not so sure. I haven't read that before. Either that or that's a common setting in ghost stories going bad. Let's see what this one is. Sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, this one isn't so bad. Okay. Me, my friend, and boyfriend were driving around one night and randomly decided that we wanted to go visit a graveyard because we were really into ghosts. I kind of had a keen sense for ghosts, and when we got there, I didn't quite feel right. So when they got out of the car, I stayed in. My friend came running back to the car saying she saw something a ways away. They jumped back in the car, and we drove in the direction my friend pointed. We got near the tombstone, and I started getting really bad shakes. And me and my friend saw this black figure by the tombstone. I started shaking even harder, and the feeling like the figure wanted to hurt me. I could feel so many waves of hate and pain that I started crying. My friend and boyfriend wanted to stay. My boyfriend did because somehow he didn't see anything, but I had to get out of there because I just didn't feel safe. It took me an hour to stop shaking after we got back to the house, and I hadn't seen a ghost in years, so it was really scary for me, especially since it was a ghost with a grudge of some kind. I've only had one other experience with an angry spirit, and that was when I was 9 or 10 years old, and me and an old friend of mine were looking for stuff to use to decorate a club we had in this tree, in the tree line. So like a fort, I guess. And we came to this pile of cement slabs, and we found some rusted cans and stuff nearby and in the rocks. So she wandered off, but I saw this can in this hole in the pile of rocks, and there was no way anything bigger than the can could get in there. But when I reached my hand in, a black, charred hand grabbed my wrist. My wrist felt like it was on fire. It was burning, like it was going to burn off, and I just started screaming. I tried to pull my hand out, but I couldn't, and when I finally got it free, there was a black handprint around my wrist. I turned away and started yelling for my friend, but when she got back, the handprint was gone. Only my friend, who also saw the ghost in the first encounter, believes me on that one. No one believes me with the second one. I hope someone does. Well, it's that old cliche. It's like, be careful what you're looking for because you might find it. If you're looking for spirits, well, you might find them, and then what? Then what? There's those people that think it's just like the new reality show where I don't know, something about our media sensationalized lives. We have the feeling that you do something and it can be terrifying, but then you turn the channel and everything's fine. It's like people don't realize that a lot of these things have ramifications which can last years. You don't mess with the paranormal. You don't mess with with the spirits. They are, I don't know, they don't like being messed with because it's at the very least it's got to be condescending as hell to have someone treat you just with such disrespect. I don't know, but I assume if they were human spirits, then they maybe had really hard lives. And the last thing they want is some, punk kid coming around, wanting them to jump through hoops and to do show tricks. So, and then again, there's some really dark things out there. So be careful when you're looking for things because you just might find them. And then you have to be prepared for what's next. So that about wraps it up for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm just looking to see, we got I guess around 15 people in there tonight, which is decent. I mean, it's a holiday night, so I didn't know how many to expect that would show up tonight, but I just wanted to put this out there because you guys are awesome, and it was just my way, a small way of thanking you and giving thanks to you guys for being part of the Paranormal Portal family. So, on behalf of Don and myself and everyone else attached to the portal, including Pixie. Thank you guys for being a part of all this, and Danielle. And, thank you to Pixie and Danielle for all that you do and providing content, and Pixie for keeping an eye on the chats for me. You guys are amazing. And all of you that are listening, liking, and subscribing and spreading the word, thank you guys. You guys have made this incredible. And I'm absolutely just thrilled to be on your radar. So love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. And tomorrow night I'll be back with Deb Varner, our psychic extraordinaire on the portal, and she will be doing call-in readings to callers of the show, so the numbers will work. Again, on these Bedtime Stories from Beyond, there is no call-in number. I should probably develop some new slides for this anyway, but having the phone number on there can be misleading. But that's for the TFR, the network call-in number, and that doesn't work on any nights except for Friday and Saturday. So, but we'll be back tomorrow night. Deb will be joining me, and then Don will be back on Saturday with me as we welcome Dan Pruitt back to the portal. So we got a lot of things coming up, ladies and gentlemen, so don't miss it. And I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Take care, snuggle in, sleep tight, and sweet dreams.